Hey everybody, this is Rustin Rose with Metalholic Magazine and Metal Nation Radio, and with us once again, the reigning queen of metal forever and ever, Ms. Doro Pesch. How are you doing?
Hey, very good. Oh, thank you for these kind words. And it's great to be on your show every time. And yeah, I was looking forward. It's the last interview for tonight, and that's awesome. Yeah.
I know. Thank you for saving me for last. Obviously, the reason we're talking, you're coming back to the U.S. for a short tour of the East Coast, and I'm really excited you're coming back. You're going to be playing a good amount of Warlock material on this tour, I believe.
Yeah, we did some festivals last summer, and we did some old school metal shows, and I think the fans really loved it, so I thought, yeah, let's do it in the States too. So we will definitely play all the old Warlock classics, and then, of course, all the highlights of each record, and in the encores, people can call out songs they want to hear. So, we are prepared, and I want to play one song for Lemmy. The last duet we did on the Raise Your Fist album, It Still Hurts, or Love Me Forever. That was the first song we did in 2000 for the Calling the Wild album. So we will do some surprises, other songs, and keep it heavy. And I believe every show will be a different set list. So
wow.
If people want see a couple of shows, we will never play the same. And I like it. I always feel out the vibe, or if I see there are more metalheads in the club, then I keep it more old school or metal. Sometimes I feel people want to hear more anthems or more ballads, and it depends on the atmosphere. So I go by instinct and pick and choose the songs.
Well, I'm glad you're doing the one that Lemmy did with you. It's funny, I was going to mention that. I was literally just listening earlier today to Rock and Roll, the cover you did with Liv and Sister Sin, and kind of made me melancholy because obviously we've lost Lemmy, but Sister Sin split up too. I know if it's hard on me, it's got to be really hard on you because you were such good friends with Lemmy and with Sister Sin. And
Totally. And we took out Sister Sin on the last America tour 2 years ago, and we had such a great time. We shared the tour bus, and I would have loved to do that again. Actually, I was asking for Sister Sin too, and then I found out that they split up. Maybe I don't know if there's a chance that they will reunite. But Liv was a great singer. The guys were great, and I think the Rock and Roll cover came out so great. We shot this video in the Chicago area, and wow, and I loved it, and I loved the version. I think came out kicking ass with Lemmy. What you said, man, it's what a loss. This year really starts out very, very, very sad, and and I can't believe that I could never talk to Lemmy again, never write him text messages, or never go on tour together, and it kills me. I know all the fans feel the same, and man, it's hardcore.
Well, and it makes it that much more touching and exciting and memorable that you were able to have him at least on the last studio album, that one final touch with him before he went up to the great stage in the sky where he's still playing because he just won't quit. So
yeah, absolutely. And I got a chance to see him when we started our European tour last year. It was in November. We were doing rehearsal, and we weren't ready, and the set list wasn't, right, and we had so much stuff to do. And then it was one day when they played in my former hometown in Germany, in Düsseldorf, and I said to the guys, you know what, guys, I got to see Lemmy. I got to talk to him. I got to see Motorhead. And then everybody said, well, but, we're not finished, and not, I said, I got to go. And I'm so glad I went. And actually, it was the last time that I could see him, and we talked, and he had, it was a great show. He talked so much to the people, to the audience. And then later on, we were hanging out in his dressing room, and I was so glad I went. But yeah, man, it's sad to just call him and stuff. I sometimes did, especially when I didn't feel so good, and Lemmy, he was very, very intelligent, very intuitive and sensitive, and such a great person. And the way I went to the funeral a couple of weeks ago, and I was in the plane and sitting there, and then suddenly this melody was in my head, ongoing, and I thought, oh man, I think that is for Lemmy, and I wrote the song. It's called Living Life to the Fullest, and we didn't record it for real yet, but there's a little demo, and I definitely want to write a song for Lemmy, and I think this will be then on the next record, whenever that will be out, but yeah.
I definitely look forward to that. That'll be fantastic. You know, I was thinking today, it was pretty much just about, not quite, but just about 30 years ago when you sort of first came into my life with music, when I first saw All We Are and discovered Warlock and you for the first time. And that still goes back to, I mean, whenever I hear that song, whenever I think of you, I hear that song. What does that song mean to you at this point? Because that really helped break you guys over here in America before anything else did.
That's right. I tell you, it was not planned. It just came out, and then when we were writing the song, it was like with a great friend of mine, Joey Ballin, which I'm now still working with. Like, we just did some songs. I think, you know, there's still great chemistry there. But when we wrote All We Are, then I was a little bit concerned that it was too simple. I was singing it. And then actually we got all our friends and actually people, you know, walking on the streets who said, hey, you guys can come up, you know, and sing. We have, you know, a song you need to sing some background, and then everybody came up singing. There were maybe 45, 50 people there, and then we were playing the song, and they were singing along, and then suddenly I saw all the faces, they were lighting up, and people were so happy, and they felt so good singing it, and then after we've done the recording, people were whistling it, and all happy, and it was really an uplifting song, and I thought, wow, and then people said, hey, how about you put it first song on the second side, because it was still vinyl. And then I thought, echt, you think? Yeah, is it that strong? And I was like, yeah, do it. And then suddenly someone said, hey, how about you put it first side, first song? And I thought, okay. And then, and then the record company heard it and said, oh, that's the first single, let's make a nice video. And it just kind of like, you know, it had a life on its own suddenly, and I still love playing it. It still makes people happy. It's usually the last song in our set list, and everybody goes crazy, and it has great, powerful, positive message. I still like the lyrics a lot, and it's fun playing it, I tell you. I never got bored of playing that song, never, ever.
Well, now I'm going to take you in another direction for a minute, because this year is the 25th anniversary of the True at Heart album. You haven't played much of that over the years, except for maybe Fortune Teller or Fall for Me on rare occasion. Will you play anything from that record on this tour?
Oh, wow, man, I'm so glad you asked about it. It never got released in the States, so I never heard somebody calling out songs of True at Heart, because it's definitely only known by the die-hard fans. Yeah, we never really did, and it's a good idea. I think Fall For Me Again is probably my favorite ballad of all time from our material. I think it's so soulful, so deep. I haven't played it, and we're now hopping on the cruise, the Monsters of Rock cruise. Actually,
right.
I'm leaving soon, and I don't know if we have time to rehearse that, because it's very delicate, especially Fall For Me Again, Fortune Teller, I Know You By Heart. There's certain songs, it needs extra care. You just can't jam and then it's done. It takes definitely time to really do it right. So, but it's a good idea. Maybe on the second leg of the America tour, I will squeeze these songs in, because I think they're really, really high quality, top notch, but not many people know them. And that was in a time when actually metal was not doing so well anymore, even though this record is not a real metal record, but suddenly grunge was huge, and then the record never got a shot, never got released. Yeah, but I will think about it. That's a good pick.
Well, and it was interesting, like you said, it wasn't ever released in America, but you recorded it in Nashville, and you had a lot of notable talent on the record, but they weren't from the metal community. I mean, Leland Sklar on bass, and I mean, so much great talent on that record. But it's not your typical Doro record, so to speak.
That's right, and just and anybody who was connected to metal, even though when you didn't deliver a real metal record, it was like there was no way, you know, and I loved the record so much. I really tried everything, but yeah, it was no way that anybody would release it. So yeah, and then we did. It got released in Europe, and we could still tour, and we toured behind the tour at the Hard Record, actually long tour. That was great, and but certain things, sometimes you have to wait 10 or 20 years when people find out about certain things, and I just actually, the Burning the Witches album, my first Warlock record ever, it just got released a couple of years ago in the States, and I thought, wow, this is awesome. And so sometimes I guess you have to be patient and wait.
Go figure, because when we were coming up, bands didn't last as long as they do now. I mean, the Beatles and Led Zeppelin, I mean, nobody had even really gone 10 years yet when we first started listening to heavy metal and rock and roll. Who could have thought that 35 years in metal was even possible for a career, So.
Right. I honestly thought we would probably do it 4, 5, 6, 7 years was already like eternity. I thought, wow, I would have never thought that we would still do it, and it's great, and it's because of the strong fan support. Like, I think I could have never done it without the fans. No way.
Well, strong and proud, right? You stated last summer, strong and proud, that you guys spent a year sort of recording and touring that. You said it was going to come out in March. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, actually, I think it got postponed a little bit. Yeah, it's the first Blu-ray, first DVD. It's a double DVD, double Blu-ray, and a live record. And it shows the whole 30th anniversary year, like, of celebrations. We started in Wacken and then doing all over shows with great guests, people you all know. And it will come out in June. There's still some finishing touches to be made. And the DVD guy is doing a little movie, 1.5 years, like, all around the planet celebrating, so it's like a little mini movie, and man, stuff always takes time to get it right. It always takes longer than expected, but it will come out in June, and the first single for a new record is coming out in April, 1st of April, and the song is called Love's Gone to Hell, and it's like a mid-tempo kind of ballad, but I think very nice song. I think it carries magic, so that's coming out in April. I couldn't wait for a new record. I thought I need to put it out right now and here. Who knows what will be next year? So I wanted to get it out soon, and we've filmed a beautiful video, actually with the support of the fans. And check it out. I think it's a great video. It reminds me on the 80s, like a top-notch video, like big production. And I know MTV will not play videos anymore so much, but I still think it's worth it. The song is so, I think it is something, so it needs some valuable stuff and not the cheap shit thing. So we did this video through Kickstarter, through crowdfunding, and all the fans that were supporting it, and I thought, wow, it was the first time that we did it, but it was so worth it, and I think it looks really good, and yeah.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to hearing the song, seeing the video, because we've been hearing so much about it. I'm like, why are we waiting till April? Put it out now. But
there's always like, the time span, it needs to get manufactured, and then, always things like, technical things sometimes, but now actually I presented it to the record company, and they all loved it, but they said, man, you got to do another version, like a censored version for for kids, and like when that you can play it on TV, like in the daytime. I thought, oh no, but so that's just in the middle of getting cut, like a normal version. But the other version is pretty nice, pretty dramatic. Like, it's the story of Love's Gone to Hell, like, when everything falls to pieces. It's pretty cool, and but there will be like a censored version. But we will put the real version on YouTube, of course. Yeah,
of course. And we've all been there when Love's Gone to Hell. So now, are you going to be slipping this into the upcoming tour?
I think I will wait for the second leg, because same like with the songs we talked about, like Fall For Me Again or Fortune Teller or something like that, I think it needs extra care. And I want to do it the first time we do a tour after the America tour. It's called Rock Meets Classic, and it will be with a big orchestra. We do it in Europe, and people are already rehearsing it, arranging it. And I didn't sing it live ever, so I will be very interested if it, translates well. when you do it live, that will be probably the first time that we will do it. But second leg of the America tour, definitely. But it's so sacred. I don't just want to, play it and then it's not right. So delicate. Like, when you play a rock and roll song, it's cool. And, when it's like down and dirty, that's great. But a song like that needs them very much thought and time to get it right, to make it feel great. And studio production is always different from the live thing. And sometimes I sing certain things in a studio much different. And then when we are on stage, I need to maybe sing it in a different key. The audience, when they are going crazy, then you have so much more energy, which you cannot get in the studio. It's a different animal. So a second leg of the America tour, definitely, yeah.
Fantastic. So I won't even bother asking you about the new album. We talked about it last time. We know it's coming. I know you've recorded a few tracks so far. Obviously, the first single's coming. You gave us a little tidbit about a song for Lemmy. This is the longest stretch you've ever taken between studio albums, so it should be really good when it finally comes out. Let's talk about a couple of the other things that you've done recently. Last time you and I spoke, you mentioned to me that you were going to be doing a song with one of your favorite Scandinavian bands, and I thought it might be Amon Amarth at the time, and sure enough, A Dream That Cannot Be.
Yeah. Did you hear it yet? I don't know if you.
I haven't had the good fortune of hearing the album yet, so I'm so excited to hear it. What can you tell us?
Oh man, I tell you, I think the whole album is killer. And I went to England, and they did it with Andy Sneeps, who was producing tons of good stuff, like Accept and Saxon and many more great bands. And I got an email, and I knew the guys from Amon Amarth, like from, playing festivals or seeing them in Wacken, and I saw it live. They were awesome, and I love their music. I like Johan. I think he's such a great singer and frontman and makes people feel good. And so anyhow, I got this email, and then I said, we have this concept album, and there's one song, and we would love you to do a duet with Johan. And I checked out the song, and I thought, oh, this is so great. And, I immediately felt, that's great. So I said, I want to do it. And then I flew to England, was close to Birmingham, the studio, and then they picked me up from the airport, and Steve and Johan, and and I said, hey, let's go to dinner, and then let's talk a little bit. And it was pretty late, and I said, but shall we go to the studio? Shall we record the song tonight? And I said, really? You want to? You don't want to relax? And I said, no, I just want to maybe eat a little bit and then go right away and try it out. And I said, okay, sure. And I like to work at night. I always feel better. I'm in a better spirit somehow. And then we ate something and, talked, and it was a great evening. And then we went into the studio. I was a little bit nervous. I was hoping it would work out. And then I listened to the song in the headphones, and I did my vocal, and I think that's the one they kept. It was right then and there. It felt right. It felt great. And the next day we did some finishing touches, and we're having such a great time. I think the fans will love that record. I heard the whole record. I think it's awesome, and that song, A Dream That Cannot Be, I think it's very special and such a great time doing it. And I'm hoping that we can do it live, once in a while on a festival or something. I would love that. And I think Amon Amarth, they're definitely one of my favorite bands right now, totally.
Well, and you did a nice cameo last year with Angra, and are there any other guest spots coming up this year we should maybe keep our ears open for?
Oh man, so far, that was the latest one with Amon Amarth. Maybe there will be something coming up on the Monsters of Rock cruise. There are tons of bands I know and friends. So I can imagine there might be like a little jam session coming up, but I don't know with whom yet. And for our new record, I have a couple of guests in mind, but I don't know if it will work out. So, but definitely some more collaborations along the way, but nothing is planned yet. So Amon Amarth thing just happened actually a couple of weeks ago. It's definitely brand new, and just check that out. I think that's it's a good start for this year.
I'm going to put you on the spot for a moment. We were talking about, of course, Lemmy when we first started talking. Let me ask you, what are your 5 favorite Motorhead songs?
My my favorite Motorhead songs. Oh, man. Oh, since I love them all for different reasons, I would say Lost in the Ozone, I love so much. Ace of Spades, Motorhead, Killed by Death, and Love Me Forever.
Fantastic choices all. And I'm going to ask you one final question before we run out the door here. I don't know if you've even heard about this, so it may be a moot point, but have you heard at all about this Iranian metal band, Confess? They've been jailed by the Iranian government for creating and promoting heavy metal music.
Actually, I don't know if that's the same band you're talking about, but I read it. I'm good friends with a journalist. One magazine, it's called Rock Hard here in Germany, and they made like interviews with, it might be the same person. I heard like actually stuff like that is happening a lot, and I don't know if it's exactly the same band, but yeah, and I guess one guy got tortured as well, and it's like unbelievable. I heard about it, and
yeah, they reached out to us because we played their music for a while here on the station, so we started spreading the word, and then OTEP picked it up, Alyssa White Glues, of course, picked it up, and they've started this whole rallying cry to free Confess. But it's really scary to think that just for making the music that we love, heavy metal, and promoting it, they could spend, if not spend the rest of their lives in an Iranian prison, they might be executed.
Yeah. I have to ask my friend if that was the... Yeah, he did an interview, and then the magazine wanted to have pictures, but, he said, no, you can't print any pictures. It's like, it's serious stuff. And I heard of one guy who's been tortured because of playing metal, and it's so insane. I'm not sure if that's the same band, but thank you for telling me, and I will definitely check into that. I definitely want to support, whatever we can do to get them people out there. It's terrible. When we play in Turkey, where we play sometimes great festivals, sometimes people, they come over the borders from Iran, Iraq, and they're diehard metal heads, and they say that they put their life on the line to just go to see the concert, and they were fearing for their life to go back into the country. And I heard some horrifying things, and man, the world is insane. I never felt it was so brutal and so much turmoil, and it's hardcore.
Absolutely. Well, Doro, thank you, as always, for taking some time to chat with us. We look forward to the tour, the new album. We can't wait for the new song and video. And I look forward to the second leg of the U.S. tour, because I've got to come out and sit down with you face-to-face one of these days. So.
Yes. Which city would you come to see a show? Which one would it be?
I don't know. Well, I live in Boise these days, so you'll never come here. It's too small, so I'll probably have to go see you in a place like Portland or Salt Lake City or something like that.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, last time I was in Salt Lake City was actually with Ronnie James Dio. I remember that. Oh.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to that when that happens. Thank you so much again, and I will talk with you real soon, I hope.
Yeah, it was a pleasure and honor to talk to you. Thank you for having me on your show, and thank you for making me aware of what you told me before with the band. And and all the best, and hopefully see you very soon. And keep on rocking.